It's no secret that here on DNA Sports, we hold Lamar Jackson to a very high standard. It's something that we've been accused for, being too critical of Baltimore's star quarterback in the past. But I never really understood that feedback, because we know how great he is. Before this season, there was a fairly uniform consensus around Lamar. He is one of the most ridiculous athletes the NFL has ever seen, which makes it all the more frustrating when that dominance doesn't fully translate to the postseason, the core of our biggest issue. Any quarterback that is as talented as Lamar should never have the label of playoff choker. Losses to the Chargers, Titans, Chiefs, and Bills twice have shaped that narrative. Most recently, Lamar looked like he was finally burying those allegations after dragging Baltimore back from his first half struggles against Buffalo. And yet, because of a goal line 2-point conversion being dropped by Mark Andrews, it still wasn't enough to beat Josh Allen. Immediately after, Baltimore fans were dragging their tight end through the mud, and to say that was undeserving would be a lie. My criticism of Lamar's overall performance does not come from a stance that relieves Mark Andrews of his multiple fumbles. It's just more so that I don't think the Ravens should have been in that position in the first place. Cleaner first halves, fewer boneheaded mistakes, less fumbles and picks. The little stuff just matters a lot more in postseason football, and I think that's what Lamar has always failed to put together when it matters most. Does that mean that John Harbaugh and the Ravens coaching staff should be absolved of their postseason mismanagement? Absolutely not. There's now a laundry list of questionable decisions in nearly every Baltimore playoff loss, and that's not really up for debate. Throwing the ball 59 times against the Titans was just the beginning. Even a couple of games ago, we saw Derrick Henry pulled for the entire fourth quarter of a dominating performance. When considering all of that, I still believe that Lamar is one of the most excused for quarterbacks and players in the entire NFL. For all the criticism Jalen Hurts gets for being a game manager, the playoff success is impossible to argue with, and Lamar hasn't exactly done that yet. So when I say this, I hope that you can take it seriously, because I'm not exactly the biggest Lamar apologist. The current media landscape, the way they talk about this guy, it's gone completely off the rails, and at this point, it just needs to be said plainly. Fans are forgetting who Lamar Jackson actually is.
It's a second down and 3. Jackson takes it himself. Look at him turn back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage. And he's got a touchdown. He is Houdini. What a play.
In 2019, Lamar threw 37 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions while adding 1,200 rushing yards and 7 scores on the ground. In 2024, he followed that up with 41 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions with another 900 rushing yards on top of that. Whether you like him or not, statistically, those are some of the greatest quarterback seasons in NFL history. No discussion about it, and the film backs that up. Part of what makes my relationship with Lamar as a fan a lot more complicated is that I don't doubt his ability at all. A lot of the time when I see other critics of this guy, it ends up being underselling him or with a weird agenda to tear it down, and I can't fit in with that crowd. In my opinion, Lamar is one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen in terms of raw ability. He has already blown past the outdated running back label, and as a passer, in my opinion, he's reached the top of the league. Honestly, on his best day, stacked up against Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, I genuinely think Lamar might have the best arm of the bunch. The accuracy and the placement he has, the ability to rifle throws in impossibly tight windows while extending plays, it's absurd. That's why, despite his real playoff flaws, the current discourse has become borderline comedic. The idea that Baltimore should even consider moving on from Lamar Jackson is one of the most unserious takes circulating in football media today, and I'm glad that when he responded, he put emphasis on the lack of believability behind these claims. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll be able to see what Lamar is capable of against the Steelers, and hopefully in a successful postseason run if he lives up to the standard that he has set for himself. However, regardless of what happens, more emphasis needs to be put on Baltimore's coaching struggles. I think it is far past time they consider a new candidate. Firing long-term coaches that are able to sustain some type of success is a difficult battle in the NFL. Fans and management both chase the old glory days so much that they become scared of closing the chapter and starting a new one. And that is exactly where the Baltimore Ravens find themselves with John Harbaugh. In my opinion, Harbaugh isn't a bad coach. In fact, by most conventional standards, he's actually a pretty good one. Baltimore is consistently competitive, they're disciplined and well respected around the league. They rarely bottom out and rarely embarrass themselves in the regular season, almost always in the playoff picture. For many franchises, that level of stability would be a dream. The consistent output, it's in some sense the goal. However, as consistency is defined, what is considered an achievement has to change as well. For a team that had one of the best rosters in the entire league last year, with Zay Flowers, a budding young star receiver, Roquan Smith at linebacker, one of my favorite players, Kyle Hamilton at safety, and alongside Lamar in the backfield, we won't forget about him the way Harbaugh does. Derrick Henry is one of the scariest running backs of all time. With that being said, it is time to win. Simply put, the ceiling becomes the expectation when you have a roster and a team that is this good. Those seasons where you're happy to be there, those are failures now. You're no longer judged by wins in October or wildcard appearances and division wins. You're judged by whether or not you are extracting every ounce of value from a once-in-a-generation talent. It is a big ask, but you're judged by whether or not you're winning the Super Bowl. This team is good enough, but Baltimore has fallen short of that standard when it matters most. Too often in the postseason, the Ravens look constrained, making the wrong moves at the wrong time, conservative when it's time to be risky, taking touches away from the hot hand, predictable or slow to adjust. All of it shows the major flaws on a structural level with this team. Something that is genuinely ridiculous to me is that now Harbaugh's Ravens have run the ball down multiple teams' throats in the playoffs. But somehow, for some reason, they abruptly stopped doing that, just out of nowhere, every single time. It's why the discourse around Lamar becomes so frustrating. It is easy to pin losses on the quarterback, but sometimes you just have to confront the uncomfortable reality that Baltimore may have reached the ceiling of what this coaching regime can offer. Does he deserve criticism for his lack of clutch performances? Yes, but blaming Lamar entirely absolves the system and is a stance that lacks context and nuance. The goal can't be avoiding the uncomfortable conversation. I am not, and I never have said Lamar is totally perfect. I am far from his biggest apologist, but I'm going to gamble on a head coaching position before I decide to, shake things up a little bit with my two-time MVP quarterback. One of the funniest things is Ravens fans who think there is some mystical, magical improvement just waiting to be drafted or signed at the position. I don't think they understand how lucky they are and how rare of a player Lamar is. I don't know how you could watch Ravens games in general and point your finger at the quarterback position when there are such big holes on the O-line. The Ravens have been subpar there all year, and it shows. Both guard positions need immediate assistance, and if management doesn't bring in one of the top talents at the position, either in the draft or free agency, that would be gross malpractice. To be honest, guys, I am rooting for Lamar against the Steelers today because I do think that this is a significant opportunity in his career to really make a shot at a Super Bowl. I think despite all the trials and tribulations, this is probably the best chance anyone has in the AFC right now to prove it on the biggest stage. And I think football is better when players like Lamar are at their best in, February. But at the same time, if he can't deliver, this narrative will get out of control fast, and I think it might be directed at Lamar when, realistically, this is an organizational issue, as much as it might be his as well. I guess that might be the burden of being great, that so many fingers are pointed towards you, but regardless of the outcome, one thing needs to be clear. Lamar Jackson, despite on his worst day, throwing some dumb picks, he's not the limiting factor in Baltimore. He's not perfect, but he is the foundation of a winning recipe, and expectations are this high for a very good reason. Thanks for watching another video here on DNA Sports. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and also comment your thoughts on the video down below. We love having conversations with you guys, and we hope to see you in the next one.